Hello and welcome back to another Read With Me session on this incredible book by Bob Proctor called Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. Thank you so much. Go out and get your coffee, your water, your piece of chocolate. We're going to have a great time the next 15 minutes. Going into this particular chapter 7, the lessons of gratitude in freedom. The lessons of gratitude in freedom. Let's dive right into it. My name is Vanessa Black. I'm one of the founders and owners and CEO of Billionairettes, where we are on a mission to impact the lives of billions of souls all over the world, okay, to achieve personal freedom and financial freedom. And we are going to do that by developing our minds, our bodies, and our souls daily to developing a greater awareness. And we need leaders like you to achieve this in your life, to be that example, and so that you are the light for so many in your world, to want to say, hey, not only want, but it's possible for them as well to achieve personal freedom and financial freedom in their life, because it is possible and you deserve it. And we are learning the goods in this particular book on how to achieve that. Anything that you desire in life, anything that you can hold in your mind, you can hold in your hand. All right. So let's do it. Chapter 7, the lessons of gratitude in freedom, page 103, if you have the physical book here. Gratitude is a magnificent concept. It's funny that it should be chapter 7 of this book, because on the first page of chapter 7 in The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace Wattles points out that the entire process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word: gratitude. A writing exercise. Whenever you're disturbed, whenever things are bothering you, sit down somewhere where it's quiet. Take a pen and a pad and ask, what do I have to be grateful for? Don't just treat this as an intellectual exercise, okay? Don't just treat this as an intellectual exercise where you just jot some stuff down. What are you grateful for? Write it all down. Sandy Gallagher and I were doing a seminar in Phoenix. I was leaving town because I'd finished the part I was doing. Sandy said she had a couple of personal challenges. Could I sit down and talk to her about them? Question. I said, sure, come on, we'll go across the road where there was an old coffee shop. In the coffee shop, I took a napkin out of a holder and I said, as a first step, I want you to write down 10 things that you're grateful for. Then think of 3 people that are bothering you and send them love. We can do that right now. Number 3, totally relax for 5 minutes, meditate, and ask for good energy for the rest of the day. I phoned Gina, who's worked with me for over 30 years now. She's an incredible assistant, and said, Gina, could you make up a pad and get it printed over at Kinko's? Within an hour, she came back. The pad had gratitude at the top of it. Sandy Gallagher, at the bottom, and the numbers 1 through 10, 10 down the side for her to write down 10 things to be grateful for. Then it said, send love to 3 people that bother you. The next one, relax for 5 minutes and ask for guidance for the day. Gina got 3 pads for her. Sandy was going to Hawaii the next day with her mother and her sister, so she took a pad for each of them. The first morning, her mother and sister thought she was crazy. Then they started doing this practice to amuse her and fell in love with the idea. They started doing it every morning. They're probably still doing it. Gratitude is the attitude that hooks you up to your source of supply. Gratitude is the attitude that hooks you up to your source of supply. Send love to people that bother you when you would probably like them to be in a car accident. After all, if somebody has hurt me and I'm sending bad thoughts to them, who's in the bad vibration? Question mark. It's got to come to and through me. The trick is to control the flow. Love that. Control the flow. Energy flows to and through you. You've got to send love to those people that are bothering you. That puts you in a loving vibration. The benefit for you is enormous. Love everybody. Then totally relax and ask for guidance for the day. I do that every morning. Some of the stories that Sandy tells me about the experience from both business and personal perspectives are mind boggling. It changed her life. In one case, she was having a tough time with some people. It was going to go to court. She imagined that this matter would all work out perfectly, and she gave thanks for and sent to love to these people. Within less than a week, that problem, which she'd been struggling with for a couple of months, was solved. This is one of the most beneficial ideas that you're ever going to get. Make a commitment to do this gratitude exercise before you go to bed. The feeling of gratitude is an incredible vibration, and it hooks you up to your source of supply. Put yourself on a frequency of love. When you put yourself onto a frequency of love, love is all you can attract. You can only attract that which resonates with you. It's all induction resonance. You're dealing with electronics. Your body is an electronic instrument. It's a mass of molecules on a very high speed of vibration. Doing this practice puts you onto an incredible vibration, and you start to attract good things into your life. Things happen that you never knew would happen. Your perception is going to shift, and you won't have bad feelings about anyone. You stop reacting when you start asking for guidance. You stop reacting. When you start asking for guidance, you'd be amazed how fast and how beautiful it is when it comes. And it will come all the time. You may stop to do this anytime through the day. If you're a little troubled, just stop, be quiet, and ask for guidance. It will always come. Ask and you'll receive. In addition, you can keep a gratitude journal. A gratitude journal is invaluable. I think the morning is a great time to set up an attitude of gratitude. Set up the habit of writing down 10 things that you're grateful for, sending love to anybody that's bothering you, and asking for guidance for the day. You may want to use this practice through the day. If a problem surfaces, journal it. Don't use this gratitude journal for ordinary notes. Use it for what it's designed for. When you're a little troubled, you feel overwhelmed, or you feel you're certain to react to what's going on in the day, get the gratitude journal out. As Wallace Waddell says, gratitude is the entire process of mental adjustment. If you're having a problem, you need a mental adjustment because all problems originate in the mind. You're having a problem, you need a mental adjustment because all problems originate in your mind. A mentor once told me, "You're the only problem you will ever have, Bob, and you're the only solution." He was right. You are the only problem you will ever have, and you are the only solution. Love it. When you understand that, you'll start to see the value in sitting down and becoming grateful every day whenever you're having a bit of a problem. It's such a phenomenal attitude, and it changes your life. Just walk away, page 107. Another powerful idea for changing your paradigm has to do with freedom. Many times when people look at changing something in their lives, it's to become more free. In our seminars, my partner, Sandy Gallagher, sometimes says, respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that no longer serves you, helps you to grow, or makes you happy. We're the only ones that can set ourselves free. There you go, personal freedom. We're the only one that can set ourselves free. As Bill Gove said, if I want to be free, I've got to be me. Not the me I think you think I should be. Not the me I think my wife thinks I should be. Not the me I think my kids think I should be. If I want to be free, I've got to be me. I've got to know who me is. It goes back to studying ourselves, understanding what thinking is actually about, how our mind functions, how the conscious works versus the subconscious, the role that our senses play versus our higher faculties. When we really start to understand all this, I think we enjoy a greater degree of freedom. The freedom that I am enjoying today is far removed from where I was when I first picked up Think and Grow Rich in 1961. I was 26, I never read a book in my life, and I looked at this book and thought it was so thick. Now I've got a marvelous library in my house and studio. I love books. I've come to love to read, and I think the more you read, the freer you'll become. Freedom comes from understanding ourselves and our relationship with our God. The lack of understanding creates a prison for oneself. Some people live in prisons of their own making. Some people live in prisons of their own making. In his play, The Secret of Freedom, Archibald MacLeish has a character stand up and say, "The only thing about a man that is a man is his mind. Everything else you'll find in a pig or a horse." The more we study, the freer we become. The more we study, the freer we become. The more aware we become, the freer we become. Financial freedom. There we go, billionairettes. I think everybody should have a goal of being financially free. You'll be amazed how much free time you have when you never have to think about money. So true. If you have to think about how you're going to pay the mortgage, you're not free. You're in a prison of your own making, because anyone can create financial freedom in a relatively short period of time. To do that, they have to create a new paradigm. They should go to somebody who knows how to create financial freedom and then exactly do what that person tells them. I formed that habit a long time ago and it works very well. This is the only way that you'll ever experience freedom. Here's a quote that Sandy and I use in our seminars. Peel off the mask of illusion, unshackle the chains of expectation, release the ingrained patterns learned, give up the stories of the past, let go of fear. It's never too late to be who you really are. When they're first exposed to these ideas, people might hear a little voice that says, "But Bob, I have others that depend on me, my spouse, my kids, my employees, and they expect things from me. How can I simply unshackle those chains? How can I release the ingrained patterns that were impressed upon me for 20 years? I had an abusive upbringing. For years, my teachers told me that I wasn't smart and would never amount to anything. How can I release all that?" I don't think this process takes place overnight. It's more of a long time objective that all people could work towards. I feel I've done what that quote above says, although it's not easy. That's what changing a paradigm is all about. We've got so many false beliefs that we allow to chain us down. In a great book, The Mystic Path to Cosmic Power, Vernon Howard said, "You cannot escape from a prison if you don't know you're in one." Most people are in a prison of their own making, but they don't know they are. If a person analyzes that quote, they'll realize there's a certain amount in their life that's false and doesn't hold any semblance of truth. We've got to get away from that. Many people feel responsible for others, but actually, we are not responsible for anyone else. We're responsible for our children until they reach a certain age. Then we're responsible to them, but not for them. There's a big difference between being responsible to and being responsible for. Many parents are having a terrible time because they feel responsible for their kids, although the kids are 35 or 40. The parents are not responsible for them at all. They were at one time, but that time passed quite a while ago. In the end, freedom is a very personal matter. We shouldn't try to impose our own thoughts on other people. In Earl Nightingale's program, he says, "I'm not going to try and tell you how to live your life. Rather, he gives you great suggestions, and if you follow them, you will live a very good life. By following them to be the best of my ability for almost all my adult life. I enjoy a degree of freedom today that I didn't think was possible when I started studying, and it keeps getting better." We're born free, but then we're not. We're born with all the tools to create the freedom, but we've also inherited many false beliefs and paradigms. Somebody else originated them many, many moons ago. Now it's up to us to recognize what beliefs we are operating with that are false and get rid of them. That's really the trick of life. I have spent many years and I will spend the rest of my life doing that. And that concludes chapter 7. Well, let me know your thoughts on this particular chapter. Love, gratitude. Gratitude is the attitude. I'm so grateful for you, your time, your attention, and you just being you and sending your love into the world and your light. So I appreciate you. I love you. And I'm so excited we're connected here. The next Read With Me session, we're diving into chapter 8, which is the benefits of changing your paradigm. Okay. Can't wait to dive into this book even more. Every chapter is just so awesome and so powerful, so important for us to just take in and continue to study these different things and implement these things into our life. What can we be grateful for every single morning when we wake up? Who can we send love to each morning? And that will that will be the vibration. Our vibration will be love. And that's how we'll attract all the great, amazing things into our life consistently. And so if we start to see, like, why did I attract that? Or like, why are maybe things that are happening in my life that I really don't enjoy? Take that moment, pause, send love, send gratitude, be grateful, and I know things will absolutely shift. So we'll see you in the next Read With Me session. Hope you have an incredible rest of your day and super proud of you. All right. Talk to you soon.